Your ideas help move this country. You are the American Innovator.
Well, hello everyone and welcome to the American Innovator. The other day I had an interesting experience. I was standing at my desk and Hannah walked up to me, and Hannah works for us, and she made a comment, and I thought, wow, that's very unusual coming from someone as young as you. And I thought, you know, we should kind of do a show and talk about what you were saying. So let's start off with, how old are you, Hannah?
I'm 16.
Yeah, so you're very young and you really seem to understand what lean is. And so when I was standing at my desk the other day, what did you say? I'm curious.
Well, I said how honored I am to be working in a place like this, just to be able to experience lean, the culture that you create here. It's really interesting to have that apply to my life. It kind of carries over.
Right, because you were skeptical. You said in the beginning when you first learned about lean, you just said, oh, you know, no big deal.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like a big deal or something not very important, but once you really get to understand what it is, it's pretty big deal. It really
and tell me, when did it come to you that it became a big deal? When did you say, oh, wow, this really works and this makes a difference?
Well, I can't really pinpoint a certain time, but it's kind of just when I realized how helpful, how organized this place was, and how just
easy to work.
Yeah, easy to work, easy to understand and everything. That's when it kind of, you know.
So for you to do a particular job, it wasn't a struggle. You kind of said, oh man, they've laid this out pretty much and it makes sense.
Exactly.
And then you said, oh, this is because of lean, because we're always improving processes, right?
Yeah, totally. It was so nice. It was easy to learn how to work here because everything's laid out, simple, easy to do, and waste-free.
Yeah. Well, first of all, when you said that to me, I was like, wow, that's really cool, because I'm going to be honest with you, you know, we spend a lot of time and a lot of money training people.
Yeah.
And I don't always hear from people that they appreciate it, and that you would say that was a big deal to me, and that you would say that being as young as you are, that you're that alert. I was like, wow, that's cool. It'd be fun for our listeners to hear from someone young what they think of lean, because lean, I think, really applies well to young people.
It really does. Just lots of people don't really have the, they don't really listen. They don't want to always hear it all, but it's good for...
So let's talk about your locker, because you told me a locker story. I said, because you said, well, I love lean, I'm actually doing it, it's making a difference. I said, well, what do you mean? Give me an example.
Well, first of all, it was my locker. When I went back to school, I decided my locker's always messy. It's just like a typical person.
Yeah.
Everything's dumped at the bottom. You have loose papers everywhere. And I decided I really wanted to change that, and I organized it. I put some shelving in there, sort of thing, just because there's a lot of wasted space in there, and everything falls to the bottom. You know, you have your shelves, a place for my papers, and now I never lose my papers for...
And there's no struggle anymore.
No struggle. It's just a quick in and out, and I'm impressed.
Wow, and I'm curious, on making the shelves, would that have been something you would have done prior to working here? Would you have been predisposed to kind of make shelves?
Well, I didn't exactly make them. I got a box, or not it was a plastic sort of box that you put in. And yeah, I never really would have thought of that before. It just creates some extra...
Right, some extra layers so you can put more things there. So you basically are getting more for less, because you've got this locker, you can get more things in and you're utilizing it more effectively.
Exactly.
Good. Yeah. And so, do you think that lean is relevant for young people, or it's a business tool? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I definitely think it is useful for teenagers or younger people, because...
Why?
Well, I feel like a lot of us waste our time doing, or not doing something in specific, but just in general, you don't always use your time or your space
efficiently.
Thank you. Yeah, for example, teenagers are known for being messy, and I'm my room. I tried to apply lean to that, it doesn't work. Yeah. But in general,
not yet.
I can keep trying. But yeah, I think it's...
So you've won the battle in your locker, but you haven't won the battle in your room yet.
Yeah, I don't know if I even want to try.
Really? I'm curious, why not? Is this too much?
Well, I tried it. I cleaned my room, I organized it, and then it just fell apart.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's always back to those good processes that maintain the organization. Sometimes having a lot of stuff is difficult, too. Well, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So, how would you describe lean? If you were to ask somebody, if I was to say, what is lean, what would you say lean is? to your 16-year-old friend?
Well, probably just like organizing things to make your life easier, make things smoother for you. It is eliminating waste, but for somebody like me, I would say mostly organizing. So it's easier.
And do you know the 8 wastes?
I think I do.
If you know them at 16, you're amazing. We teach it here all the time, but you're not always here sometimes because you're part-time.
I used to know them, but I think first is overproduction.
Good job.
And then transportation.
You got it.
Wasted motion.
Yeah, wasted motion is one of them.
One of them. And then inventory.
Yep, you got it.
Hiding defects.
Yep, you got it.
It's coming to me.
You're doing really good. Overprocessing.
Overprocessing, okay.
Right.
And then wasting of employee potential.
That's right. And there's one more. Customer is doing what? As you're fixing all this, what's the customer doing?
Waiting.
Waiting.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Pretty awesome. For 16 years old to know the 8 ways. Most people don't know the 8 ways. So that's really impressive.
Well, it's nice to hear it.
Yeah.
Hear a lot.
You hear it a lot here.
Yeah.
So what about the whole thing in the morning meeting, the history lesson and all that? Is that good, bad, and different? What do you think about all that?
I think it's really interesting. Lots of, it's interesting to learn more, although I'm doing that at school already.
Right.
Most of it, lots of the history, some of the smaller things I can't always remember, but I think it's really neat to learn the amendments too.
Right. And you study the Constitution every day.
Exactly. Yeah. That's something I never would have known.
You had to think it was crazy the first time you were part of a morning meeting because why are these people doing this?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It was pretty crazy, and then everybody started like having helpful hints with each amendment, like
on how to remember them.
Yeah, which really
helps me too.
Yeah, otherwise I don't think I'd be able to remember them.
So would you say the people at FastCap are friendly, or how would you describe them?
Definitely friendly. Like when you come, you feel really welcome. Everybody's really nice. They help you, and they're not there to make you mess up or anything. They're there to help you learn, and they help you learn Lean.
Do you think that's unusual, or do you think that's something that we teach people, or why do you think people are that way here? Is that a normal experience for you when you go other places? Are people friendly and really helpful?
Well, at first they are, but I feel like usually after a while after the like newness, the first day or two wears off, it's kind of just like down to business, and you have to get these things right. That's what I felt lots of times. But here it's just kind of continuing, always learning and helping each other.
Well, that's part of the Lean culture. It's all about continuous improvement and continuous learning. So you sense that.
Yeah.
And for me, that felt really good that you would stop to say that because, you know, you always wonder, you'll find out as you get older, you always wonder if all the effort that you put into life is really paying off. And I believe it does, but sometimes it's nice to hear it. And that you got it at such a young age was like, wow. Way to go.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Great job. Thank you.
The American Innovator has been brought to you by FastCap. To hear more, just go to theamericaninnovator.com.